Let's take a walk down memory lane. Do you remember these? I sure do. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved these hand pies and I would beg for one every time we were at the grocery store. And now that I'm an adult, I bought one for myself and I had one. And you know what? It was not good. It was very disappointing. So today we're gonna make homemade hand pies. So the first thing you want to do is make your fillings. I'm using 4 different flavors: lemon, blueberry, apple, and peach, but you can use whatever fillings you want, or you can use canned filling. No judgment here. Especially if you're going to be doing multiple fillings, you might want to go the canned route. But if you're like me, you might have filling already in your freezer from all the other times that you made filling. So you can get any of these filling recipes on my website or in the link down below. The second thing we need to do is make our pie dough. We're using our mealy pie dough recipe, or pâte brisée. It's French. It's the perfect pie dough to make for hand pies because it's gonna be firm enough that you can pick it up, but still super crispy, buttery, and delicious. If you didn't wanna make your own pie dough, you can totally use frozen, just defrost it so you can handle it, but making it from scratch, it's gonna taste better, guys. I've got my chilled dough. The great thing about this dough is you only need to chill it for an hour. This is a double batch because I'm making a ton of hand pies. Because while I was researching, I discovered that you can actually fry hand pies. You can put them in the air fryer, or you can bake them. So I'm gonna do all 3 and see which one tastes the best because I'm genuinely curious. All right, so now you just gotta roll out our pie dough first. It's very hard. Just came out of the fridge. I'm gonna put some flour down. So when you first are trying to roll out pie dough, it's very hard. The butter in there is very firm. So it's gonna feel like nothing is happening, but you just put a lot of pressure straight down and make little tiny rolls like this. I'm gonna rotate. So Alton Brown says that the secret to rolling out pie dough without cracking is to go slowly and have patience, which I have none of, so. And we're going for about 1/8 of an inch thick, roughly the thickness of one cake board. It's a good visual. And I'm making my hand pies using a 6-inch cardboard round as a guide, but you could use like a salad plate, or if you happen to have a 6-inch cutter, that would be super convenient. Or you could even make little mini ones. Okay, I think that's good. Definition of a hand pie is a pie that you hold in your hand. So it literally could be any filling you want. It could be sweet fillings, savory fillings. This dough is so easy to handle. It's awesome. And it's all butter. The egg is actually what makes it sturdy. You don't want to keep your dough too thick because then it's going to be really hard to bite into. It's about the filling, not the dough. If you have 2 pieces of dough like this, they're like not sticking together because of the flour, we need some water. So just get that little bit damp and then press that back together. Weird enough, like pie dough does not like to stick to itself. So you have to use something like egg wash or water when you're sealing it. Press this together kind of roughly and get one more out of this one. Don't waste any pie dough. One batch of pie dough makes 8, maybe 9 hand pies if you're lucky, unless you make them smaller. All right, time to make our hand pies. I have all of my delicious fillings. For all of the fruit ones, you use basically 3 tablespoons roughly. That's gonna make sure that your hand pie is full but not overflowing. That's step 1 to not having your hand pies leak, is don't put too much filling in there. For the lemon curd, we're gonna use slightly less filling, maybe like 2.5 tablespoons because it really likes to bubble a lot in the oven. Okay, so now I'm gonna start adding some scoops. I'm just using a nice big fat tablespoon here. Do not go crazy. Oh my gosh, it looks so yummy. Apple. Fun fact, apple is the #1 flavor for hand pies. People really like their apple pie. So you can see there's just slightly less lemon than there is of the fruit. Okay, now the next thing we need to make sure we do to avoid hand pie disaster is we gotta seal these babies with some egg wash. You could use water, but eggs are gonna be the best case scenario for not having any leaks. I'm just using a small paintbrush all the way around. Now we're going to fold and crimp. We're gonna use a fork to put our crimps through. Make sure you don't have any of that filling on the edge because that will just explode and leak out. Firm, yet not too firm because we don't want to crimp through. Look how cute that is. It's taking all of my willpower not to add some fresh strawberries into this peach one. And our lemon. We did do an experiment where we tried to put chocolate pastry cream in our hand pies, but it did not work out very well. More experimenting is necessary for that, but trust me, we're working on it. Stand by for hand pie. All right, so now we're going to vent, the third and final step to avoiding hand pie disaster. Don't want to go way over here. We just want to kind of come off to the side a little bit. 1, 2, and 3. Those little beauties will prevent the filling from exploding out through this seam here. Instead, the air will come up through the top as it bakes. The lemon one is a little bit tricky when it's baking. You might have to keep an eye on it. Sometimes the vents want it to like close. So just make sure the vents are staying open and nothing's bubbling. When you're venting, make sure that you don't stab all the way through your pie and poke out the bottom. That would not be good. If you want to know how to make full-size pies, everything from one crust, no bake, to double crust pies, click on the link above. I should also mention that we only made half batches of all of these fillings, and I still have plenty left over. So you might want to half the recipe of the pie filling from the website if you're going to be doing multiple fillings like I am, because you're going to have tons left over, which is not a bad thing, but just be aware. I'm gonna bake my lemon ones separately just in case they need to be pulled out a little bit extra, but all of my fruit pies are gonna go just on the pan together. All right, now we're going to just do a light egg wash over the whole top so that they get nice and brown. It's kind of funny to think that pies don't really brown unless you put egg wash on. You can also use milk if you don't want to use eggs. All right, once you egg wash, make sure your vents are still open, that you did not egg wash them shut. And we're gonna place these in the oven at 400 degrees for about 18 minutes or until they're nicely golden and the filling is just starting to bubble. Just for fun, I'm gonna try making some smaller hand pies. This is a 5-inch cookie cutter, and I'm gonna try frying them in some oil. And I'm also gonna try cooking them in an air fryer just to see which one turns out better. I'm thinking just kind of one hefty scoop. Don't overfill, don't overfill. So I'm going to cut some little slits for the ones that we're gonna air fry, and then I'm going to dock, AKA poke holes, in the ones that we're going to deep fry. We're not gonna egg wash the ones that are gonna be deep fried, but I am gonna egg wash the ones that are air fried. So my thought process is that the ones that we're frying, it still needs a way for the air to escape while it's cooking, but the holes are not so big that the oil is gonna be able to come inside. We'll see. All right, our hand pies are done. We had a blowout on this guy right here, and I knew it was gonna happen. We had a crack on the back, and I thought, oh, maybe it'll be okay. It was not okay. So if you have any cracks on the back, you definitely want to fix those before baking. But all the other ones turned out great, even this guy who had a little crack up at the top. We know they're done because they're lightly golden brown on the bottom. And it's kind of like a regular pie. When the filling starts bubbling and trying to come out, it's done. So now I have my glaze that I'm just gonna brush over the top. This is a really thin glaze. This glaze is literally just powdered sugar and lemon juice. Look how beautiful that looks. You could drizzle it if you wanted to, but I kind of like the all over look. These have only been cooling for about 10 minutes, and then you can glaze them. They don't have to be fully cooled down. So because these have fruit in them, I would definitely suggest refrigerating them. And you know, pie is always best when eaten on the day that you make it, but if you by chance had leftovers, you could put it in the fridge and eat it the next day. You can freeze them though. I would suggest freezing them before you bake them and then take them out of the freezer and then bake them maybe for a few extra minutes because they are frozen. And then for the actual deep fryer, we're just putting about 2 to 3 inches of a neutral oil like vegetable oil, you could use vegetable shortening, into a large pot with tall size, just for safety, because we're gonna be heating up this oil to 375 degrees, which is the optimal temperature for frying hand pies or pretty much anything. And we only need to fry them for about 3 minutes before they're nicely golden brown. Take them out, put them on a paper towel, and then let them cool for 10 minutes and glaze them. And then for the air fryer, we're just going to prepare them the exact same way that we made the ones for the oven. Place them in the air fryer for about 15 minutes. Time to eat. Okay, these look very interesting actually. I thought there wouldn't be that much difference between all of the pies, but there is actually a vast difference. These are the baked pies, also larger. These ones were the ones that we deep fried. You can see they're a little bit darker. The crust is a little bit more bubbly and crackly. And then these were the air fried ones. They baked up really well. This one straight up busted open and still did not leak. So I'm gonna call that a win. Just for comparison's sake, this is the store-bought berry pie. Based off of what these look like, I would say this is fried because it's got that golden-y color. Dan, come dry some pie. Did somebody say pie?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's start from the left over here.
Okay.
I don't know. I think that's peach. He takes it out. Oh, this is apple.
Okay.
Ooh, look inside. Oh, that's good. I'm really excited that the bottom is like totally baked and it's crispy and crunchy all the way around. Okay, let's move on to the deep fried ones.
These look like empanadas to me.
They do.
Yeah.
I could definitely taste the oil. I don't like that. Ugh.
I think it tastes pretty good. It tastes like the state fair.
That was brand new oil too.
So what about the air fryer? So the air fryer should be the best of both worlds. It should taste like the first one. It's really good. I think it's my favorite.
So this tastes really light and crispy on the outside. Okay, so the results are air fryer. I think that totally was the best of both worlds. The oven was really good too, but it was just a little bit doughier than the air fryer. So air fryer also only took 15 minutes, super fast. And I had hardly any blowouts or leaks with any of the different flavors, so. All right. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check out my other pie videos, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye. Oh.